Welcome back. You're watching Startup Central with me, Nayantara Rai. I'm going to now put the spotlight on a first-time entrepreneur who's been it big time, so much so he's called the retail czar of this country. I'm, of course, talking about Kishore Biyani. He had a good run. He survived the entry of global giants like Walmart. He's now got Amazon to also invest in his company. Having said that, Kishore Biyani was giving a lot of pearls of wisdom, a lot of advice to younger entrepreneurs, first-time entrepreneurs, small and medium businesses. And this is Kishore Biyani at his best, uncut and candid.
I think today's generation is very different than our generation.
Yeah.
We were born to socialist parents.
Yeah.
And we were not allowed to do anything until you rebel. I think this generation is born to democratic parents. They are allowed to do whatever they want.
Yeah. Today, technology helps a lot of entrepreneurs to scale their business. But scaling offline business 30 years ago, I'm sure wasn't an easy task. How did you think about it? What did you learn, and how are you able to scale so quickly?
India is a huge country. I always say India is a country of 6 to 7 major religions, 6,400 caste and subcaste, 29 states. I think it's the most heterogeneous market in the world. Yeah. And when we looked at India, we broke India into 4 zones.
Yeah.
And we created offices very early into Eastern Zone, the Western Zone, the Northern and the Southern Zone, and multiple breakup offices within that zones. I think that allowed us to spread across India. Yeah. And we were able to, today our businesses are equal over most of the all the regions put together. And we were able to spread ourselves. Otherwise, in India, sitting from one particular place to reach everywhere in physical era was very difficult. So we had to spread ourselves, open distribution centers very differently. We thought differently at that time to reach India.
As you scale the business, have you failed in certain areas as well? In hindsight, do you think you could have done something differently?
I used to have a saying outside my room in the office: people who are asleep makes no mistake. So if you are doing something, I think we would have made mistakes, every mistake in the book, from a location to a format to, but luckily we were early, so our mistakes were not noticed as much. But I assume I have made mistakes like, we have made crazy mistakes. I think the biggest mistake which is publicly known is I made 2 films and that didn't work. So that was the craziest mistake I have made.
Tell us your learnings about it. Like, what did you learn from that?
I think film taught me, I made 2 cinemas in 1 year, which was a record in that sense. And the film taught us one thing, that don't get attached to what you create. The customer can reject it within an hour. So Friday, first show, you know you're gone.
Yeah, yeah.
So in a consumer business, I think that is a great thing, because when we produce something, when we create something, we get attached to it. And the failure disappoints you. So today the failure doesn't disappoint us because the customer is telling you have not done well. Yeah. So change yourself or change the product or do something else.
How do you think about SMBs can prepare themselves for this journey? Because we are in the very, very early stages. To make the most opportunities these technologies and innovation can offer?
I think everybody has to start somewhere, and starting small is the most interesting thing, because you are doing everything by your own hands, learning each and every part of your business, handling every aspect, and not having any multiple people along with you in terms of specialist roles. So I remember my early days when you start, you are virtually doing everything with your own hands, and during the journey we learn a lot. And it's all about how you make your first journey into the second, and then how do you become from small to medium to large. I think that's the journey, one loves it. And the most memorable days for us was when we started it.
Yeah.
I think the sense of creation and the sense of doing something is an immense satisfaction. And so today, when you become larger, you want to become small again.
Yeah.
Because we believe small is beautiful.
Do you guys agree with that? The best days are when you're starting a new business, and the early days are always memorable. I still remember early days of Amazon India, And that's when a lot of new seeds are getting started. And
Because in a sense, one should remember that days that you can create history.
yeah, yeah,
And that were the days. I remember a movie called Pursuit of Happiness.
yeah, yeah.
It's the pursuit which is more important, not reaching the end goal.
Yes.
So that journey of achieving something, I think that's the most interesting part.
I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. The journey is very important. Thank you. One of the things you often mention is creating the right value chain. Any tips and trick for our SMBs from your experience in creating the right value chain?
I believe the economy only grows if there is value addition in what you do. So when look at the way my origins have been starting a trouser business. We were among the first people to build a trouser business. Earlier people used to stitch trousers during that time. Today the cost of stitching is more than the garment which you buy it.
Yeah.
So the value addition which happened was kind of the stitching, the branding, the distribution, the packaging. A lot of people came together to create products, and we were able to create it in mass. People consumption went up, and overall economy grows significantly. I think that's a role we have to look at. How can we create value addition in whatever we do? By branding, by adding something into it, and how can we scale it up and get it at a price so that millions of people can enjoy that? And I believe that's how economy grows. And India, if it has to grow, we have to create a value-added economy.
Our audience today at Sambhav has a huge participation from startups, very, very small companies. As a big supporter and investor in multiple startups, are there any principle or mantra that you want to share with them and say how to aim for success?
So firstly, I always tell every startup that look at the canvas in which you're operating. How big is the canvas? If the canvas is smaller or the market can't be big in a particular product or a category, so your painting can't expand much. You will not be able to grow on that canvas. So then you have to think in a different way. Those who want to think big should look at a bigger canvas. Those who want to think smaller should look at maybe a category or a product which is a limited consumption offering. So one is define the way you want to grow in your business, and then believe in it and go for it. And there would be highs and lows which will come, which is natural part of growing up. So no businesses will be without any highs and lows. So, but your customer is going to tell you again and again what's happening, what's not happening, and you have to keep your eyes and ears open. And I think with that you can keep on improving yourself and keep on reaching the success which you want.
Thank you. One thing that all of us admire about you is your ability to create multiple brands, be it Big Bazaar or Brand Factory or Central. You have created and envisions big brands. People recognize easily and connect with them easily. When a small business is created, often you have other challenges. Do you think it's important to think about the brand creation even at the very early stages? If yes, how should one think about it?
I think any product which a customer recognizes and wants to buy it again and again is a brand in a way. So in a sense, the brand has to stand for something. It's all about positioning the brand. I think in any world, physical world or digital world, you will have to position your brand. So Amazon is known for something, Big Bazaar is known for something, every brand is known for something, and you have to be consistent in terms of delivering that. So brand is going to be again very important. Your personality, your name itself is a brand. Everything is where a customer relates to you, that's a brand. So I put a lot of importance to brand. And coming from a little bit on the communication side of business in the original days, for me brand is very important. So Brand Factory, when we positioned, it was brands at factory prices. So every brand has gone through a particular amount. We create a brand Hofstede, we create a brand star, we work on, every brand is well defined in a way. So whatever brands, we would have created more than 100 brands, product brands and format brands. And every brand is well thought through.
And so your advice to SMBs who are starting new businesses, say 3 months old or 6 months old.
They should look at the brand, the name, how does it spell, how is it written, and the positioning statement for the brand. I think that will help in the longer term.
In the long run.